Well, you're looking at the Porsches now as they make their way round for their big race, and well, there should be plenty of action here, AJ, because it's been declared a wet race, which means they're on wet weather tyres. Now, I find that a bit hard to believe.
Well, Daryl, it's not wet. There is a distinct dry line, and if they want to declare it a wet race, that's fair enough, but they should allow it to the competitors to take the choice between wet and dry.
Yeah, I totally agree, because the tyres are not going to last too long, particularly when the race gets underway and that dry line gets even drier.
Well, what we're going to see is we're going to see plenty of pit stops, and I hazard to say that the majority of these cars haven't got a support team that's good enough to change tyres quickly.
Wayne Park there, you see car 10, row 1. He has been the real goer right throughout the year, Wayne Park. He's really put in a terrific effort to dominate the season so far. And as you can see, Jimmy Richards there on the grid. Jimmy just about drives anything and loves it. He just loves racing.
Well, exactly. I mean, Jim just will drive anything with 4 wheels on it. You know, he makes no excuses. He gets in and has a go. We see Peter Fitzgerald there. He's a long-time Porsche driver. Interesting to have a look. We have a front-engine Porsche and a rear-engine Porsche sharing the front row of the grid.
Okay, Wayne Park there in the red and yellow car. Car 10 sits on pole. Beside him, Peter Fitzgerald. Now, Peter Fitzgerald, as we said, a long-time campaigner, and you've got the rear-engine Porsche, which is the red and yellow one, the front-engine job, which is the green car, and away we go. Green lights, plenty of power goes down now. These cars start to bog down. Have a look coming through there. That's Rex Broadbent. What a good start he made. Jammed himself into second place.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Oh, good slide by Wayne. The 3 cars in front of Peter really do have a lot more power. When Peter gets going and gets the momentum going, the front wheel Porsche, the front engine Porsche does handle considerably better. But off the line and out of the corners, the 3 cars in front of him do have a lot more horsepower.
As you can see now, plenty of tails snapping around. There's one gone round and had a spin there. Bits of the Porsche coming off everywhere, but they all get through okay. He carries on too. It looked like car 9 David Withers, who got out of shape. But there's all sorts of models here, and they go back into some years of production.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some very interesting stuff here, Daryl, because if these guys choose to continue out, we're going to see the wets overheating, and we're going to see more lurid slides that you can point a stick at.
Well, there's 3 different models there in front of you. In fact, 4.
Well, that's correct, and I guess that's probably one of the good things about this class of racing, is that if you do have an older Porsche, you can go in. If you've got a new Porsche, you can go in, as long as the criteria just seems to be a Porsche.
Well, of course, some of the money looking through the portfolios here, they range from about $60,000 to $80,000 for the smaller commitments, but some of the guys here have got a couple of $100,000 wrapped up.
Oh yeah, there's some rare birds out there, there's some collector's items out there, and I tell you what, some of them today I certainly wouldn't, I wouldn't really want to be backing any up against the brick wall, because some of the parts would be a bit hard to get now.
Well, as you can see, the track is not as wet as we saw in the touring car race. The rain has eased off. I look out the window of the commentary box, and there's a big cloud bank just hanging over the top of the ranges here. Hopefully this weather is going to lift, but the tyres here are not going to last too long on these cars.
No, they're not, but it is only 8 laps, so all things being equal, they should be able to get through 8 laps, but they do generate a lot of horsepower, and there's a lot of horsepower through the rear wheels. You can see now that the circuit's very dry in places, so I would say by about lap 5 or 6, some of those tyres will be very second-hand indeed.
Wayne Park doing a great job leading the Porsche race. Back in a moment, Australia. After 2 laps, it's Wayne Park out in front, car 10 from Rex Broadbent. Then it's Love Fitzgerald and Morgan. That's Morgan you're looking at now. He's getting plenty of pressure put onto him from Anthony Tratt in that unusual coloured car. There's been a bit of carnage around the circuit though, and here is a replay of this car, which is Martin Wagg. He goes straight into the tyres here with a bit of a thump.
Well, there you go. He's got the P plate on the back, P for Prang or provisional. I'm not quite sure what's happening there.
Nice paint job too.
It was.
Park here, Broadbent now, and Luff. Not much in this, actually. They're going pretty well. And as you can see, car 2, Peter Fitzgerald hanging on there. He lost a bit of ground. He never really made the start he wanted.
No, he didn't. And in theory, his car should be better balanced in these conditions because the engine is further towards the middle of the car. The weight distribution probably is a little bit... Oh dear, that corner's flaming a few.
Yeah, it must be pretty slippery there. And once you get these things out of shape, they're not going to come around. There's a lot of horsepower there.
There is, and as I said before, the 911s with their engines hanging back over the rear axle, particularly in these conditions, it's a very tricky car to drive.
Well, Luff and Broadbent are having a pretty good tussle there in second and third. That's been a really good battle. But you've got to hand it to Wayne Park. I mean, he has dominated this class right throughout the year, and he's doing it again here. And it goes straight on again.
Just a little bit of understeer.
That was a pretty hard hit, let me tell you. Car 26, that was.
Richard Batchelor, dearie me. What? That is a classic case of understeer.
Oh, wow. I mean, he went off big time and hit pretty hard. There's Park. This is back now. Luff starting to make a bit of a challenge up on the inside of the blue car. Here's a replay of this again.
Look at that.
Goes straight on.
Now
And
look at that. Full lock, and I would say foot on the brake, and the eye is about 18 inches in diameter.
And I'll tell you what, well, we shouldn't laugh. I mean, there's a lot of body damage there. It's going to sort of give him plenty, but the details of that car, $150,000 he's invested in that car. Just got handed a note here. So, wow, there'll be a bit of money spent there. All right, let's come back to the racing now. Broadbent in the white car with the red stripes on it. And now Fitzgerald has moved up one. He's gone past Luff. This is a pretty car, this one.
Oh, a little bit of oversteer. Look at that's good. Feeding on the power, coming out into the pit straight. I mean, these cars have got a lot of horsepower, and as I said before, the engine's back over the rear axle, so they really are quite tricky to drive in these conditions.
Well, having a look at this car, that's the blue car that we're on there a moment ago, $200,000 has been put into that. Sponsorship from Grundig, Dynamic Safety, Macquarie Bank, and Apollo Batteries, Chris Hones. And, I mean, when you look at that sort of investment, there's two of these cars. That's Luff actually driving the other car. So there's about 400 grand tied up in that team. Take a break, come back with the Porsches. Back here in Adelaide, it's Park, Fitzgerald, Broadbent, Luff and Trait are the major place getters. That's Wayne Park out in front. Rain coming down again, can you believe it? It just won't go away, and that's made a bit of a difference here. We've seen some pretty close racing. Once the rain started to fall, though, the field actually strung out a little bit. They're still getting sideways, though.
They certainly are, and Fitzy's actually gaining... there's a good dice going on here with these two.
This is a great dice. Now, this is Rex Broadbent in the red and white car, Ian Luff in the blue car. Oh, side by side, nearly a touch there too, and they've been hard at it, these two. They are not pulling back. That's a real brawl going on.
You can see the tyres are starting to go off. I mean, they're feeding the power on. Watch coming out of the corner, sideways.
Broadbent in the red and white car, and he's car 77. Luff now goes up the inside. They've been at it for about the last 4 laps, these two. Luff now tries to hustle and muscle his way past. Broadbent won't let him know, and they get really sideways. Oh, getting snappy.
It's choreographed, or whatever you call it. They're almost doing it in unison.
Dancing too.
Yeah.
So Luff now in the blue car, around about $200,000 investment in that car.
I don't think he's even thinking that at this stage, to be honest with you. They've moved off the dry line now, so they're going down on the wet part of the circuit to try and get those tyres cool, because they're obviously running far hotter than they should. They've gone off, they've lost adhesion, and that's why you see the cars sliding around more than what they ought to.
Now, Jeff Morgan's done a pretty good job. He's got into touch because of this scrap that's been going on. Morgan in the white car with the various colours on it, he's closed right up.
Well, it's all about looking after tyres, and the car that's better balanced and the guy that's looked after his tyres will now start copping the benefit of it. Peter Fitzgerald, you'll probably find, will be right up behind Wayne Park. Now, Wayne Park's got a heap of horsepower, and he will have been abusing those rear tyres, not intentionally, but with that sort of horsepower, he can't do anything else but do that. And that's allowed. Look at this, good stuff.
Coming onto the last lap now, so the dash comes up. Morgan puts it up beside Rex Broadbent. He's come from a long way back. Jeff Morgan has been a pretty good run. You can see the rain on the lens there of the camera. It's been coming down, and Morgan goes past Rex Broadbent. So that has been a good run. Now he gets Ian Luff at his sights. This is the final lap.
Actually, it's starting just to spit with rain. They've got the wipers back on, so that may help the tyres a little bit, but I would say those tyres will be well and truly shot by now.
Lufkin knows that Morgan's there. He just got rid of Broadbent. Now Morgan's come out of the rain clouds actually to nail him on the last lap, but can he get past? I don't think so. I think Luffin's enough in control now to hang on for the last lap, but well done to Jeff Morgan. He's put on a good show here. In fact, this is the best display I've seen from the Porsches here at Adelaide. But have a look at now. Fitzgerald. Wayne Park's got the lights on. Fitzgerald's closed right up as you predicted.
And Jimmy Richards has made enormous grounds on them too. This could be very interesting because Fitzy has definitely got the better balanced car at this stage and should get him under brakes for the right-hander.
Does exactly that. Comes up on the inside of Wayne Park, who has dominated the season, and this race gets passed now by Peter Fitzgerald, and he goes for it. Oh, gets it sideways. Oh, terrific stuff from Park. What a save.
Yeah, came on the power just a little bit too early and probably spun those tyres a bit. That'll do more harm than good.
Well, he's not going to give up. He's all over the back of Peter Fitzgerald, the best Porsche race we've seen in Adelaide.
This could be interesting under brakes for the hairpin before the start finish. Like Parky's lining him up.
Has to go under brakes. This is it, the last corner. They come onto the straight.
He's trying to use his
horsepower.
horsepower.
Trying to get on the outside of him, but I think Fitzgerald, hang on, it comes down to horsepower. Fitzgerald keeps the boot into it. Fitzgerald takes it from Park, and that is a bit of a surprise. Wayne Park has dominated right throughout the season, gets rolled here in Adelaide, and look at this. Morgan now, he's having a big go at Luff and doesn't quite get there.
Yeah, well, it was a tyre race, but at the end of the day, I think Wayne did a great job to sort of handle that horsepower and those tyres that were going off. And Fitzy did a good job because he used the better balanced car to the best effect.
We have seen some terrific racing here. There's no doubt about it. Of course, the Grand Prix is what we're all here for. The shootout for the world title, but the support races have been absolutely first class. Terrific run from the Porsches. They really turned it on around the streets of Adelaide this time round. Been great, and the Tourers, of course, they're good. We've got the Thunders Sports coming out a little later on this afternoon, and they will be really hairy round here if conditions stay as they are. We'll take a break, come back Australia. You having a good time?